Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to Game 3, WallKicks vs. Humbug. I am devastated that this is the end of the road here in these semifinals. But, someone has to continue on. Someone has to go home. Unfortunately, it has to be one of these two wonderful, wonderful gentlemen. Without further ado, I'm going to pass this over to Excalibur and Dane, and they can talk you through this awesome race that's about to start. Have a good one, guys.
We will, and just a reminder to everybody that's turned up early, this is the first of a doubleheader tonight. There's Game 2 of the other semifinal, basically immediately after this one. So if you really want to watch Crosskeys for 6 hours, I'll be here, Jinxie will be here, and we'll tell you all about it. I didn't get a chance to watch the earlier games of this semifinal. I was out of town. You want to tell? Were you around? You can tell me what happened.
I only was able to catch who was able to win the matches. Humbug took game 1 and WallKicks took game 2. I didn't get to see them, unfortunately, though.
All right. Well, we'll pretend like we know what these guys do as we get started. I would say that Humbug making it this far is more of an underdog story than Wally. Wally's sort of does that make sense? I'm less surprised, let's say that, on WallKicks' side.
Yeah, but Humbug has been putting in really good work this tournament and grabbing the 2 seed, and he's been putting in a lot of work in entrance.
I actually agree. I guess before the tournament, I would have said that I would expect more of Wally than Humbug, but Humbug has been certainly running excellent races. Fire Rod and Sank, and I like the Sank start from Humbug, even if it turns out to be Castle and we'll ever start there ever again. This start was getting more popular with runners last year, and this year it seems to be everybody's gone back to Houlihan, but I like it.
Yeah, I've seen definitely more common to see the Houlihan, but the Sank start still does make an appearance every now and then.
So the argument in favor of it is that several of the options for starting at Link's house are just terrible, and while the Sank start is more volatile, many of the outcomes are pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah, I think more volatile is a great way to put it, because I think sometimes when you get the Sank start and you end up in Kakariko, you can go into some checks without bombs or without some other item you get, and that's kind of the more where you get a little more punished for it. Though also you could just get in Kakariko and find something nice. So volatile is a good way to put it.
Yeah, I mean this money from Houlihan is only useful some fraction of the time. And also the most miserable thing is doing Houlihan, doing these 2 fake flippers, and then discovering that the Sanctuary is at the Useless Ferry. It's just awful.
Yeah, there are some, when the Sanctuary is at Useless Ferry, it's basically, unless Witch Hut is some sort of really nice and not an easily forgotten thing that's also nice, and then it's just flat out a minute and a half savings to do to do the Sank start.
Yeah, I mean, the argument that you'll otherwise never get up to the Witch Hut, yeah, that's fine. It's one entrance.
And we found Eastern Palace already, so that's already 2 dungeons this early: Eastern Palace and Swamp Palace.
Yeah, and Zelga's not in this race, so one or both of the runners might actually go into Eastern Palace. We'll see if neither one of them is going to do it on first sight, given how convenient it is to Link's house, but it might bubble up to the top of the priority list in reasonably short order.
Yeah, I agree. I think when Eastern is just this close, we still got so much chances, but I guess Humbug is deciding that he wants to go into it early.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, so there are sometimes you do like to prioritize early game items because you can, if you go into Kakariko and there's something that needs, I don't know, the lamp or some other item to get past, then you'll have it and get it first try.
Yeah. Well, the I mean, the number one thing you'd like to get before you go to Kakariko the first time is the flute, right? So you never have to walk over there ever again.
Absolutely. No, the flute does tend to be it can be rare in Crosskeys because it oftentimes just doesn't lock anything.
Pod and Meyer red crystals, and taking advantage of the fact that the bomb shop actually sells bombs.
It's actually a pretty good deal because he'll fill up your bomb supply no matter what your max capacity is.
Well, he's a artisanal bomb expert.
And just a map on the race game today. Won't need to come back for that with any urgency.
I doubt that we'll come back for that at all unless we happen to get spat out there at some point where we're nervous about which dungeons to complete.
I guess if we get the mirror and we're doing mirror checks and we also think a map is valuable, then it could come up. But whenever you see a map there, it's always Ganon's Tower, Hyrule Castle.
We're getting deep cuts from people that have actually taken apart the ROMs in chat here. AA pointing out that it's not infinite bombs, it's just 30, but good luck if you feel like you need to buy more than 30 at a time.
Yeah, I guess I didn't. I haven't ever had that much.
Here's Paradox for Wally. And going straight to the items before checking the second exit, just in case.
Yeah, very nice to find that bomb shop as early as he did, because then you can just go right into this Paradox Cave and get the 7 items. If he had no bombs, then he couldn't do this. If you have 1 bomb, you can go into the shop in Paradox.
Thieves Town big as a reward for the Eastern dip and Ether, but who cares?
So those things, like Ether might give us 1 entrance, but something like the Thieves Town big could be one of the better finds you can get out of Thieves Town, because if the Eastern Palace big is locked by that, then it's going to be hard to get back in there.
Yep. WallKicks finds the cane, which humbugh will get to in not too much time. In Paradox, which between cane and Fire Rod, they're actually doing pretty well on early both access and items. And WallKicks not interested in checking the other exits before completing a Kakariko sweep.
Yeah, I agree with this. You did want to just clean our Kakariko. It's really annoying to walk back here. So something interesting, though, with that Canis Samari and the Fire Rod, you're definitely thinking, okay, you could find the front of Turtle Rock pretty early and just get 3 items.
Yeah. And a glove.
Nice. Always love the early gloves in Crosskeys. And there's one of those Paradox entrances, Paradox Bottom over at Sashralla's hut.
Unfortunately for Humbugh, he doesn't have a mirror, but will at least not go out there later, unless he needs a quick trip back to the eastern area.
Yeah, sometimes if we have a bunch of one-way connectors in Kakariko and have to kind of choose between them, Humbugh won't have to make a choice with that one at least.
And Sashralla's is not actually that. Of all the entrances to check, quote unquote, unnecessarily, that one's not so bad.
Yeah, this eastern area, it doesn't get that much better. You can sometimes combo it in with Pod if you manage to put it off long enough to get the mirror and Dark World access. And a glove does help you route it a little bit better, and there is that early glove, but a lot of runners will go to this Eastern Palace area just because it never really gets better, and sometimes you can get hit really badly by last locating it.
Yeah. How many seconds does the glove save? I gotta feel it's not that much. Oh, hey, Pendant Eastern. So that's that makes the dip feel a little bit better. And here's Humbugh having put off various things, off to Kakariko the Southway. It's worth noting that neither runner has yet checked the back of Escape, because WallKicks hasn't quit since he got bombs, and Humbugh on that entire route didn't manage to find any, which is kind of annoying for him.
Yeah, luckily he'll be able to got enough money that he can purchase some from this bomb shop guy.
I enjoy that he doesn't have prices listed.
Yeah, that's funny.
And we're finding all the like market for later locations here in Kakariko.
Have we found the Smith chain yet? Or the Smith yet? Because we found Sick Kid, we found the Bomb Bender, Saj for all. And there's the first sword. So early sword, early glove in Kakariko. That's definitely a pretty nice set of items.
Yeah, I like the black market sword vendor. He's got a stall set up with a bunch of M4s, and you turn up and like slip him some handy under the table, and he hooks you up with some black market weaponry.
Yeah, he's got like messages in a bottle, except inside of the paper is coiled up a sword.
Well, there's the Thieves Town map, so we can find out at some point if Thieves Town, that Thieves Town big key is going to be useful.
Yeah, because it's just such a wild card because you never know when you're going to find a bow and the big key to Eastern, and unless like there's something really bottlenecky in Thieves Town, you can definitely put off that Eastern dip for quite a while to get that big key.
Yeah.
And another time when you getting the lamp too, but whenever you find the dam before you find the dam entrance, it's just such a nice feeling, especially if you don't get the flute early.
Yeah. First time you walk there, there's just some stuff. And Mark took that off on the tracker. Here's the glove for Humbug. I can't imagine that the anti-clockwise route through Eastern Palace is slightly faster with the glove, but it can't be that much faster.
Well, I think the main advantage is that you just don't ever have to walk out of Saz. It's not very much faster now. And here's Hyrule Castle. So these runners, knowing where Sank is, they can just freely take this key and go get the front of escape items.
Yeah. Unlike Eastern, there's no controversy about going in here, but it is not the fastest few items in the game. But you're never going to leave them behind.
Because you always can just clear it as long as you have a weapon. But yeah, it's kind of slow.
Well, and then there's enough standard tournaments out there that whatever random ass weapon you have, everybody's got lots of practice at this.
Yep. You even get some nice ice rod usages sometimes, because you can't have that in standard because that one green guard, but you can still use it plus bombs to get through escape.
I just want to comment that that early lamp adds to this sort of suspicious collection of items we have. Because the lamp is very often way buried in Crosskeys logic, and I wonder if there's going to be some dark connector or dark room that proves very important. So Humbug, that's the second reasonably major item location that he's walked into and walked out of. He didn't do Paradox either. While doing this Kakariko sweep, I don't know if he's just ticking off all the entrances first before he goes into anywhere, in case the bait boots turn up or something.
Yeah, I think we'll come back. And going back to your point about the early lamp lock items, we're going to see one here from WallKicks, but we've actually already seen one, and that was that big key of Thieves Town.
So if Thieves Town turns up, you're gonna, in your Humbug, you're likely to go check that out.
Yeah, it's always interesting without the big key. I guess it's going to really depend on where Thieves Town is. Because if Thieves Town is easy to get back to, you might put it off for a little bit, but if it's not, then I think you would be inclined to clear it.
Yeah, given that this sword is gonna turn up, I was gonna say swordless Thieves Town seems like no fun, but by the time Humbug gets that far, the sword will turn up. Kane is in Paradox Gate.
Yeah, so with those Hyrule Castle and Paradox connectors, there's definitely motivation to return to Kakariko and check those at some point, but we'll kind of have to see what else these runners find in this north that might change their minds about doing something else.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. There's no good way up here that Wally knows about, and so going and ticking off using sort of the overland connector first, rather than doing diving connectors, given the bad state of equipment locations, makes some kinds of sense.
Yeah, and I think you might be, before diving connectors, it might be even more fruitful with the glove and the dam already pulled, though the south route of Kakariko is more appealing than it normally would be.
Yeah. South of
South
World.
Hyrule, sorry, not Kakariko. All right, so Humbugh did make his way over to Paradox now. We'll see what he wants to do with regards to connectors.
Yeah, so he knows about the castle still. So it wouldn't surprise me to see him go back out and do the castle and then check the castle's connectors, especially given... But he might just check this connector here, because he can always, unless he gets locked out, make it back in past the Moldorms in bunny form. I don't want to deal with the mini Moldorms. Ether use there, excellent.
Yeah, Ether especially is very nice to have because it's just such a quick medallion compared to some of the other ones.
Yeah, and mini Moldorms are such a, they're not hard, but they're certainly a frustrating enemy to deal with. Here we go. We are checking the middle exit. And it's East Death Mount.
Yep, definitely a good one to find. That's almost vanilla. That's where the Paradox Lower normally is.
Lower.
Yeah, quote-unquote lower. And so suspicious items, that Ice Palace, with just the Fire Rod, you can get to Ice Tea Room and Freeze Orb. Definitely won't see Humbugh do that right away, but you have to have that on your mind a little bit.
Your spidey senses are tingling. With the glove in hand, Wally can get the item out of here. And it's Blue Mail.
Yeah, so WallKicks getting a fairy from the fairy fountain and also getting Blue Mail. So now Death Warps, you're going to have to think a little bit now because they just became a little more difficult.
And our trackers helpfully keeping track of drop-downs for us, pointing out that implies that the well is behind Ganon's Tower, inside the pyramid today. So that takes the climb from 4 items to 9 items, which is a big difference.
Yeah, I'm personally not a big fan of the Kakariko well climb because it's so tempting to do it, and it can be a race decider if you do it and it's empty.
Yeah, that's fair. On the other hand, I enjoy watching good runners do fairly low percent GT climbs. So, I missed where the middle exit of the castle was, other than the Dark World somewhere. But
Laser Bridge.
Well, that's not amongst the more useful places for it to be. But a shortcut to Ice Rod area is definitely acceptable.
Yeah, very nice. Makes routing the south part of the Light World much easier. Because now you can just... I guess Mini Moldorm Cave is kind of annoying because you just have to do an extra walk over there, but you can just go from Mini Moldorm. You do the Light Hype Cave and then do Mini Moldorm Cave west to Desert.
Yeah. It's actually almost certainly more efficient than the sort of usual route. So...
And 10 arrows in the free desert item, but with this being sort of the end of WallKicks, I definitely will see him follow one of these connectors.
Yeah, Humbugh setting up the fake flipper to come back up to Useless Fairy to do a right to left North Hyrule run, making good use of Whirlpool action.
And that's an interesting connector there. So now you can just do the desert entrances, and they'll probably just do the middle Hyrule entrances, having gotten spit out of that glove-locked entrance.
Humbugh chooses not to pick up red mail, I think. I've lost track of which mails these guys have gotten.
Yeah, so there was blue mail and sword in back of escape, so that he turned down red mail. Definitely, you can understand that. Blue mail is okay with early. Sometimes it can save you from like getting wrecked by the cabbages, but red mail death dwarfs are just annoying.
Yeah. Well, and frankly, the things that are likely to kill these runners are often things like spikes that where the red mail doesn't need help anyway. So
yeah, the main thing that you like is sometimes you'll get like early vitreous or something, which when you have the cane only, that's not as ominous if you've had the Mire Big as well.
Starting our golden bee to check the fairy fountain drop, and it's the fairy's little sister stuffed in a bottle. And see where Spiral drops us out. Ooh, Smoky to Swamp at the bottom of Spiral.
Yeah, that's actually a decent location for Spiral Cave because it's on the end of your route, so it's an easy do it. Yeah, I'm altogether really happy about that Spiral Cave. You never have to come back there. It was on the end of your route. That's about as nice as you can get with Spiral Cave.
Yeah. As far as these things go. It's a shame that it didn't take you to the right side of desert there when you hadn't already walked most of the way to desert, but
Yeah. But I always like it when Spiral Cave is not interrupting your route and then you never have to take it again. It's really annoying when it's like at the Flute 5 spot and that's your main Dark World access.
Absolutely. I think my personal record for the number of times I've had to go through there is like 10 or 12, and like, stop it. All right, Wally checking the out of logic front door to Beckrock, and it's up on the mountain. So,
yeah, it's definitely a good find. We'll see if there's another way up here. There's always the old man connector, which you can't tell where that is from looking here, but we do have the lamp, so if that could be the access up here.
And on second reflection, WallKicks chooses to go into TR. So we can keep an eye on him while Humbugh does the front of escape.
Yeah, with this loadout, it's not. I don't think it's a bad idea at all. You can easily kill the Pokey with the Fire Rod and get this Lava Chest, and then you can go get the Chain Chomp Chest.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it feels like cheating to kill that Pokey with a Fire Rod in Crosskeys. And Wally not too worried about taking damage there, given that the Chain Chomps will own him anyway. So.
Yeah, you're pretty much on 1 KO mode unless you were at full.
So this early game, which of these runners do you think has had a more successful early game?
I think it's worked out a little bit better for Wally so far, but that's mainly the Eastern Dip pending, because that's like the big time difference, I would say, between these two runners. I think WallKicks' route might have also just been a little bit more efficient since there wasn't anything useful on East Death Mountain, and that was another kind of time sink. But it really is going to... That Thieves Town Big Key is such a wild card, because I don't think Wally's going to get that for a while.
Yeah, Humbugh has spent some time walking back to Kakariko a couple of times. Oops! And also, Wally just duffed a Death Warp there.
Yeah, that fairy, whenever you get those fairies from the fairy fountain, it's kind of like, okay, do I even want to hold on to this? Because it's nice to hold on to them for Spike Cave out of logic. And you can also use them for the Potion Glitch and Pod, but they do ruin Death Warps like that.
I mean, and... yeah, I mean, you could just let the fairy go. You just have to remember to do it, which is part of the reason that it feels real bad when you forget.
It's pretty hard to do it on those Chain Chomps, too, because they generally will get you right as you open the chest. So you have to do it as you're walking into the room and then have to dodge the fairy and the Chomps.
Well, and frankly, the downside of letting the fairy go and then getting eaten by a Chain Chomp, which is, like, non-trivial, is much worse.
Yeah. Speaking of Spike Cave, there it is.
Of course, we can't do that yet.
No.
But maybe someday.
Yeah, and they already have the cave, so they don't really need that fairy to do it.
It's also kind of a terrible spot, so I anticipate putting that off for some time. Rescuing the old man while being able to see this cave. Everybody remember what this looks like? So the next time a runner does it in the dark, you can envision it.
Yeah, it's uncommon to have to get to do it in the light. Generally, when I see this done in the light, it's because the lamp was the logical mountain access, and there was something nice up on the mountain.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me if that's the case here, despite the fact that Wally got up here in a cheaty way. I haven't actually seen evidence of a connector up here yet.
Oh, we have one. We have the Turtle Rock Laser Eye. You just need 3 Turtle Rock keys in the front of Turtle Rock, and we got that one.
Great.
But yeah, it's probably not that one.
I mean, it might be if the Turtle Rock big chest entrance to somewhere, because then that's actually just in logic. So
that's true. Yeah, I was only thinking about coming through the front.
No, Turtle Rock as connector is a thing.
And we got another early dungeon with Tower of Hera over here. No big key or hook shot means we cannot clear it, but nice to get 2 free items and knock out that location.
We also don't have the basement key yet, which probably would have gotten done at this point, just because it's an item, but that fetch quest has not yet been unlocked. So,
and then WallKicks here deciding to follow this left Spec Rock connector instead of doing the dark entrances, which definitely makes sense because it's in logic, and those dark ones are not yet because the mountain isn't. Though those dark entrances on the mountain are so hard to get back to.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of which, more mountain caves. 2 more items here.
Yeah, interesting save and quits for the old man, just to get early access to these locations. We'll see if the back is actually useful as a connector.
Yeah, and remembering that that back exit is often out of logic for a long time because of the as mentioned lack of light. But here we have it. So the fact that the old man save and quit is on top of the castle that we already have a save and quit point for is kind of miserable.
Yeah, and here we're having an interesting route because this is probably the quickest way to get to that back of escape drop down. I can't say I've ever seen that walk taken.
Yeah, you got to remember that that's there. It's very occasionally useful in Crosskeys.
Because normally, if you're doing the comboing this drop down with the top of the castle, it's because you're doing it from Dark World, and then you just walk over with the mirror. You don't have to take that one-on-one.
Right, so it's another fairy for Wally. Hopefully, he remembers to get rid of that one. But yeah, we now have access to Link's house, just north of Link's house, and just north of Link's house as our save and quit spots.
So probably going to be just a Link's house save and quit this seed.
We didn't check the back door of Old Man yet. So, and here's an Eastern dip from Wally. So,
okay, this will definitely protect him from getting kind of destroyed by that Thieves Town big key.
Yeah, I would assume that this means that WallKicks is running out of things to do.
Yeah, he absolutely is. I think we've got like Mini Moldorm Cave, the dam, and the dam entrance. I don't remember how far he got down before he found that Spectacle Rock, but there's some small number of entrances in that area, and then he's got the connectors in CAC and eastern entrances.
I'm kind of surprised that this is a higher priority than the entrances, than the going to the eastern area, but
yeah, I'm a bit surprised that he didn't at least do the free dam item first, I don't think we already saw that one yet, but it doesn't surprise me that he's doing this relatively close to now.
Yeah. Yeah, and despite both of them having pulled the dam some 15 minutes ago or something. Neither one of them has actually gotten their free loot.
Yeah, it's surprising to me because those free items in the early game can just be very nice. Like we saw the boots there yesterday, and that was very nice to get.
Well, you like having boots in Link to the Past?
You know, it's a bit of a controversial opinion in the community, but I'm in the favor of them.
I mean, your controversial opinion is you think that players shouldn't just start with them.
Yeah.
Humbugh putting off laser Turtle Rock for at least a little bit. It's pretty easy to combo that in with after the drop downs or whatever. So
yeah, especially if he intends to follow that spec rock left connector as well.
Yeah, and with no keys, can't traverse any of the other entrances to Turtle Rock. So
yeah, because it might be tempting if you had a key, because you can get 3 items as well. They're not going to be in logic unless that entrance is in logic, but it could still be tempting just for the connector as well.
Yeah, as a route ender, but given that there's spec rock available.
Yeah, but that spec rock is just so close to Link's house. I mean, I guess the bottom side of Spectacle Rock is very slow to get through compared to the top, but I would definitely consider doing something else if that was the only reason you were going to do it.
Yep, that's totally fair.
Especially with the, I guess at least for, I don't know if Humbugh found the connector to the Light Shopping Mall, but you kind of got a really small loop of the dam and Mini Moldorm, and you could just go right back up to the Light Hide Cave after that.
I believe that both runners did go to, did take the castle connector to this red area. So, and chat making metagaming jokes, but we're deep enough in the tournament, and these guys are good enough that making decisions based on what you think your opponent is going to do is correct, but you should do that probabilistically, because but if both runners are dipping Easter eggs and think the other guy won't do it, that's hilarious and fun, but might be correct for at least one of them.
Yeah, it seems that we're getting to the point where there's enough Eastern Palace dip haters that the meta is kind of like, we have to do Eastern now because my opponent hates it, so I'm doing it. But then the person who doesn't like to do Eastern gets into this meta. We got to get to the next stage where people start skipping it because they know the meta is to do it.
Well, and it's one of the things, interestingly, Humbugh comes and steals the key, doesn't check Lava Chest. So this might be a traversal to the front.
Yeah, I think that's what it has to be.
Get those extra items and find out if that entrance is somewhere good.
Yeah, this is definitely a play. I mean, it makes sense because you're already coming back here for a chain chomp, so it's not even that much extra time, but it's just you're using a different key. So you're kind of picking 3 items over 1, but those 3 might just be available later. So it's a bit of a risk, but I like it.
The front ones are also, depending on where that entrance is, closer to being in logic. That lava chest being behind all the Turtle Rock keys.
Yeah, I guess no matter what, it's closer because these ones are at worst case locked by 3.
Yeah. And we have a fire rod, so we can murder these pokies, which is one of the reasons doing this early is sometimes less appealing.
So Mini Moldorm Cave was another 2-item cave. That's our second fairy. This is a random small key. We'll get to see what that is in the dam.
And Amazing Ampharos, who wrote a fair amount of the logic for this mode, pointing out that if this front door is somewhere that is an exit-only location, these can be locked by four keys. But
yeah, that's true. So if this is going to be the top of the mountain or bumper top, because those are only 2 left, then yeah. I guess no, we have Laser Bridge too, so there's still 3 left.
Oh, we got spot out at Laser Bridge.
Sorry, I meant the Laser Eye. Sorry. Yeah, we did get spit out of Laser Bridge. The one by the big chest one, I guess, is the one that's the guaranteed connect.
Turtle Rock Ledge. Coming up with names for the outsides of... Did Humbug just leave behind the left chest here?
Yeah, I think he might have.
He doesn't get locked out. Well.
Yeah, you're stuck here. You need to have Super Bunny if you want to get back there.
Oh!
You can get lucky and have that guy throw a spear at you, but it's not very easy to do it in that spot.
That was suboptimal. All right, so now we have some bunny walks going on both sides. I missed how Wally got to where he was going. I was distracted by Humbug's. All right, Humbug's choices. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was Desert right to Bomb Shop.
Yeah. It was certainly somewhere into Bomb Shop, but...
okay, you saw the right part then, because I saw him do Desert right. I didn't see I didn't see where he exited.
And so the fact that the runners are reduced to bunny walking means that we're really running low on places to find the Moon Pearl. We found East Death Mountain, we found West Death Mountain. So there's not a ton of Light World stuff left. Zora is in Logic. We have a glove.
Yeah, that's actually pretty appealing because these, like we were mentioning, they don't have a very appealing set of bunny walks. You're basically bunny walking for the Moon Pearl in a one-off location or getting some other one-off entrance, like something on the top of Death Mountain in the Light World or the Desert Palace upper entrances.
Yeah, it's not great.
Oh, and I guess they have the shovel too, which neither runner has checked. It looks like so. I think that WallKicks still has the Hyrule Castle connectors over here, so he can do the shovel into those two.
Oh, yeah. Humbug has the shovel ticked off, so presumably he checked it. Yeah, it's the map. Both runners thought about leaving it behind and then picked it up, which is kind of adorable.
If you ever think about picking up a map, though, it's going to be one of the two that you don't want. It's going to be like, if you have to think about it, just don't. The ones in the chest, they can be okay, but if it's on Race Game or it's on the Zora Ledge, it's Ganon's Tower, Hyrule Castle every time.
And here's Humbug showing us Desert. Oh, that's sorry. Apparently, I got the wrong exit. Oh, it was the east of.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
The northwest of Lake Hylia Island. Hey, you need better names for the entrances.
The Palace of Darkness Visitor Center. Yes, WallKicks says he has these. Once he finishes with this, I'm wondering where, because there's just not that many good options. I think he probably... Oh, we have this Ice Palace that I mentioned a while ago, so it's like Ice Palace and Zora.
I mean, if I'm WallKicks, given that he's checked much more of the world before getting here than Humbug did, I'd have to go do some of Ice Palace at this point.
Yeah, it's a real shame he doesn't have one Ice Palace small key, because with one Ice Palace small key and the cane, Ice Palace dip is not as bad as you think, because it's more comparable to like an Eastern dip.
Yeah. The lack of hammer is also kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, that's a given. Like every hammerless ice is always bad, but it's much less bad if you have cane and a small key.
That's fair. And Humbug, unfortunately, already checked. Yes, Humbug is going to show us the back of Old Man, which is another thing that we haven't seen yet. I don't know where this can go. That's great, but so much lag.
Yeah, and this is probably going to be... So this could be in logic if we can bunny walk to Old Man front, but this is probably not. It could also not be in logic.
Great. That's, I guess, less terrible than it could have been.
Yeah, that could pay off one time the seed if you want to get King's Tomb.
With save can quit spots this bad, you hope that the flute turns.
Yeah, this is setting up for a bit of a slog of a seed.
Bug walking back to Kakariko again. Speaking of lousy save and quit spots.
Yeah, so I don't know if he got Sick Kid, but he might also be coming to Ice Palace. So WallKicks is stealing this key. This is a good play here because now he can do the go through Icebreaker and get some extra checks that are not in logic, and then still get to the main chests that are in logic.
This is that's quite a long way to go to steal a key, but now that we have the magic of, now we have two different ways to break the logic in Ice Palace. We can go steal that key.
Yeah, and it really shows just how nice having one key would be here, because if you're willing to go that far in for the key, like you just save all that time just by having one.
Man, we've walked through this room a few times already. And here's Humbug here to make the very same Ice Palace stuff. Or at least,
it's Zora or Ice Palace, like it's what it's looking like. So Ice Palace has more stuff.
Yeah, but jeez.
Yeah, it's not a good. Not saying it's a good option, but it is a option. And yeah, I agree with Amazing Impharos that is an optimistic Crystal Switch hit because it makes getting to Ice T slower. But if you do find the hammer down here, you can beat the boss.
I think the EV on that play is negative, but
yeah, I think so. And it really depends on. There are some modes where you might be thinking that the hammer is more likely to be down here, but Crosskeys, it could just be. It's probably going to be the Moon Pearl, right?
Or Mushroom, or
no, Mushroom is on Late Spectacle Rock Top.
Sorry, but like that sort of thing, right? Like it can very easily be a breadcrumb yet, rather than the actual thing.
Because the hammer is kind of a breadcrumb at this point. With no Moon Pearl, I don't even know what else the hammer really gives them.
Useless fairy, which is at bat, which is to say nothing. But that in normal seeds, that would be the thing that it gets.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the logical implications of the hammer-locked Ice Palace checks with no small key and no hook shot. I don't know if those are going to be in. I don't think those are in logic, even if they got the hammer. Cold Stare is definitely not in logic without the big key.
Yeah, the key logic for these. There we go. These dungeons with badly broken sequences is a bit. It's worth keeping an eye on, but it's not tremendously important. So there we go was those flippers. What do flippers get us, Dane?
So they don't really get us that much. We get to go into Swamp Palace for 2 items. We get to go to the Zora Ledge, and we get to do the 2 entrances over on Lake Hylia. But it also makes you feel good because, like, now, if you had gone to Zora Forest first and then you get those flippers, like, what if there's just something sitting nicely on the ledge and that's the progression?
They have enough crap that they can do Insula's Elite Fake Flipper if they have to.
I don't know. It's pretty difficult to do the Insula's Elite Flake Flipper without the water walk there, without using bombs and arrows. Maybe these runners can do it, but I know I can't, and it's definitely not easy.
Yeah.
Like they'll be able to do it on any other spot, but doing it on the waterfall ledge without being able to set up a water walk it's quite difficult. The timing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Person in chat with a very, very long name. If you have the map for a dungeon as of quite recently, it shows you if it's a crystal or a pendant dungeon when you're in that dungeon.
And I like we had 2 different choices for saving and quitting to Swamp Palace. I'm interested in which one was faster. I think the old man was probably faster.
I agree. Also, it's more swank.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of things that are in logic with the flippers, Hobo, definitely. And more... We got Pain Fire Rod super early, which, made you suspect that the GT might be coming along any moment, and it never did.
It still could. He's got 2 chances.
Yeah.
But I think that finding the flippers in Ice Palace, I would feel pretty good personally, just because if Zora has progression, then there didn't have to be progression in Ice Palace. So I think it's kind of likely that you'll find something in one of these. And if not, you just got your flippers, which you're going to need this seed.
Yeah, you're going to need them sooner or later. And this is, frankly, shockingly close at this point. Right, they've both done basically all of the things. We're bottlenecking down to last location territory.
Yeah, we'll see if it's going to be last or second to last location, really. We're going to see the Zora ledge and Zora, and one of these has got to be something.
So while the crystal pendant marker thing on screen is a new gadget, it wouldn't surprise me if runners miss it, as Siri is pointing out in chat, fairly often for now.
So that ledge was nothing, so those flippers really haven't turned up with anything yet. We obviously need them, and maybe they could be Dark World progression. We'll see what Zora gives us. Moon Pearl.
Now they both get to feel bad about doing Ice Palace, which I don't think was objectively the wrong choice, but will feel bad.
Yeah, and especially if you find the hammer relatively soon. If the hammer is still really late, or even better, flipper locked, then you're not going to feel as bad. But you definitely know you could have just come to Zora.
Yes, could have, but probably shouldn't have. Right, you shouldn't put in your mind that your opponent definitely god routed and went straight to Zora, because nobody fucking does that.
Yeah, now with the connect, so if the Ice Rod Cave area had not had the desert connector, I could have seen one of these runners electing to fake flipper down to Zora with the glove and logic. But when you have the option of doing a desert connector, you just take that one every time.
Yep.
Humbug expressing his gratitude to Zora for giving him that Moon Pearl by gifting him back a different sort of circular object. Oh, and we had this connector sitting around there. I don't know if we did either of the runners check this yet?
Given that WallKicks is doing this aggressively after getting the Moon Pearl, I assume the answer is yes.
That's what I would think, too. Though, on the other hand, you got to know it's Dark World, because if it was Light World, we would have seen it.
That's fair. Which part of the Dark World does this take me to?
Yeah, I don't remember anyone walking out of here, because he would have checked the... Well, maybe Wally did, and we just were watching Humbug, because that would also make sense as to why he didn't check the Dark West Death Mountain earlier.
It's certainly an exciting place to get spat out. Humbug instead going through desert as his Dark World access point of choice. Yeah,
because this gives plenty of access. He can knock out the Hype Cave entrance, which is pretty orphaned right now. And then you can swim over to Dark Shopping Mall and do Catfish and then go down to Pod.
Yeah. WallKicks finds and immediately heads into Skull Woods. Did find a Skullwood small key out in the world somewhere, so isn't going to be very sad.
Yeah, it's a nice, quick to clear dungeon. We'll see. Get to see if it's a crystal or a pendant.
And it's, you might as well. A little bit sad to get back here with only one shot left in your fire rod, but Master Sword Moth isn't too terrible. Oh,
especially with red mail.
Yeah, doesn't help against the spikes.
No, it actually. So it's very helpful with the hammer moth because then you can just use like damage boost hammer hits, but it doesn't make the moth hits do nothing.
Yep. Humbugh, now not a bunny, is here to check the first chest in Aga Tower. No keys to go further.
Yeah, because so when you do the bunny walk to the archery game, the guaranteed items of the digging game and the Stumpy they're really hard to get back to. So definitely want to do Aga while you're over here.
Yeah, you'd rather get these going the other way, down from the top left part of the Dark Worlds, rather than walking over from walking in this direction, because it puts you to a dead end ramp. But Hera big, we know where, or WallKicks knows where Hera is. Humbugh somehow hasn't found it.
Did he not do it? Because he was up on the mountain earlier. I think he found it.
I believe in our trackers. Until they fess up in chat that they missed that they screwed up.
Because he also did the Spectacle Rock Bomb jump. That's how he got to the front of Turtle Rock, which he may go back to because he knows that's our only access to the Northwest Dark World so far.
Well, and speaking of which, WallKicks has just found Turtle Rock Big Chest entrance and might now be doing that same thing because a couple of Turtle Rock keys have turned up in the meantime.
Yeah, and we'll get to see that one chest that Humbugh didn't do.
The two chests Humbugh didn't do, because I assume Wally's going to go and check the lava chest too. Or
he already
did. But right, having made the opposite choice earlier.
Yeah, I think Humbugh may hopefully he remembers about that spike chest. I think he will because he went back into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, he went back in and got to feel really stupid, which is generally the sort of thing that you don't forget.
Yeah, because I think what he was trying to do is that you just set up a death warp in there, so you go out that entrance, come back in, and do a death warp. Maybe it's quicker. Though very risky, given that we didn't have very much light world entrances left. Yeah,
I think he might have just slipped his mind that you can't throw yourself in that pit, because the pot's in the way.
Yeah, unless you have the mirror and can super bunny back in.
Yeah.
It was okay, not a great big key, but it is a big key.
Yeah, it's a fetch quest rather than a useful thing.
But it is nice to get right now because he's going to get spit out right in that area. He's got the fire rod. He's got the Skullwoods big. So I think going into Skullwoods for those basically free items and getting to single dip is pretty nice right now.
WallKicks.
Yeah, that's always a sad thing. But at least you remember to take the long way too. So,
all right, both of our runners showing why they're in the semifinals with excellent execution in the last 30 seconds. All
right, on to the Moldorm. Let's hope that he fares better than the little bumper.
Moldorm just doesn't stand up against modern weaponry.
No.
Just a heart face, but that's 2 very easy crystal dungeons completed by our runners.
Yeah, definitely. You'll love to see Tower of Hera and Skull, what's supposed to be crystals in Crosskeys. And so with 2 Turtle Rock keys, this could just be the logical way to get over here if there's just one over in like Dark Shopping Mall or Pod area.
Yeah. Yeah. But geez.
Though I guess we still need to get a logical way to the mountain first. Or no, we do have one. It's through that Turtle Rock light. It's what WallKicks did. Now that we can take the big chest entrance, it's in logic.
Yep. Yeah. Which, a long way around for a shortcut.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the next thing we're worried about finding? Right. What else opens up the world in a useful way? The mirror and the flute, always. The flute doesn't actually give us logical access to anything. It's just would be nice to have. But the mirror is the next potentially large bottleneck.
Yeah, I think so. We've got the hammer would give a lot in dungeons, so that's kind of what I would be looking for. Because unless you clear out Ice Palace, it would let you do more in GT. Though I guess you need the hook shot to actually do anything with that in GT.
We also need to find GT, which is a minor detail.
But now that we have so much Dark World access, it's just going to be available, right? It's not going to be Admire or something.
We'll see. We shall see. I suspect you're right that the logic thinks that we have to go through Turtle Rock at some point, which is why we've got this cane this early. But
yeah, that's my suspicion, because if we find, say, no other connectors over here, though we did already find one with that old lady connector, and we don't, if the hammer's over here, then it's going to be hard to find a way to get up here. I guess you could do the mitts too.
Yeah.
And the Skullwoods layout today is it's the second best one, I guess, where you got the back in the middle, or the front in the middle, sorry.
The way where you can get out, you're just not happy about it.
Yeah. It's we walk into the front entrance, you're like, oh, this better not be the one where I get locked out. And then you're like, you let out a little sigh of relief, but you're still a little bit mad.
And it looks like WallKicks is going to take the conservative option and walk around to the front door rather than just throwing himself in pits willy-nilly. As much as I like throwing yourself in pits willy-nilly, the strat, but
what I like to do when I find the back in the front not being vanilla is I just walk right out and drop into a pit, because then no matter which pit I find, I'm in a decent spot. And that hammer. So that makes me think even more that it's 3 Turtle Rock keys to get over here. Because that was also in Turtle Rock in the front.
Yep. Humbugg's in trouble.
Oh, he skipped it again?
Well, yeah, he hasn't retraversed Turtle
we'll
Rock
see.
yet.
He might not be in trouble, because he's going to jump down here and find the Turtle Rock big chest entrance again.
That's fair.
But we'll see. He could be in trouble for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he might be tempted to retraverse Turtle Rock just to get to the big part of the Dark World.
Yeah, I think so.
Which would save his ass.
Especially if he is like we think, and he was intending to get that chest and just got locked out. Because then you're like, oh, I can finally save myself from this, and it's also just nice because I'll get up to the Northwest Dark World guaranteed.
Yeah.
All right, so Thieves Town is a pendant, which is interesting. So we got the Pendant Eastern Big Key, the Big Key and Pendant Eastern for Pendant Thieves.
Yeah, and given that both runners have now dipped Eastern because they were running out of stuff to do. Humbugh apparently would rather bomb jump the rail than just use his cane once. Not sure what that was about.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And with some keys in hand, is going to go pick up the lava chest.
So I'm just wondering where these runners are going to go now, especially Wally with that hammer in hand. He's got a few different options.
He's going to go to this hammer-locked house right here. Come on.
Oh, he hasn't done the stuff in the south of Kakariko, so you just jump down and then
he buddy walked it. But he did bail. Yeah, he bailed on the Aga Tower item. Looks like he's tempted by connectors, presumably looking for minor area amongst other things. Also, that's a good exit to find.
And he's unlikely to get locked out anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to go up here and check this old lady connector now. All right, so Humbugh is saved. He gets his Skullwood's Big Key.
And hasn't yet been to Skullwoods, so it hasn't actually cost him any time other than the psychological trauma of making mistakes.
Yeah. All right, so we found the old lady connector is to the Tower of Hera, so we get one more entrance, and also you can check this item up here. I guess we get one and then one more or two more, depending on if you like one or two entrances more.
I like two. Two is a bigger number than one.
Yeah, I do too, but sometimes you face people on the ladder who prefer the number one.
I feel like that's a lower EV play, but maybe I don't understand how EV works. Hey, WallKicks likes two.
And gets rewarded with Hype Faith.
Rewarded might be a strong word.
I'll get the fetch quest and the safety.
Yay! Not even. I guess Blue Cane might actually be useful if they have to do some armosing, some ice armosing at some point. But the chicken house reminds me that we should thank our restreamer Jinxie Girl and our trackers, Pummel Talk and Seiryu X. Today, those that aren't aware, Jinxie has chickens. So,
and there's our mirror in that chicken hut. Very interesting item. Gives them. I think that you're definitely happy to find that if you're WallKicks there before going on that south route.
All right, with hammer in hand, WallKicks is back to actually do Ice Palace and mirror. It's a good sign.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense to do this. He's over here. It's full clearable. It's probably a crystal. We don't know for sure yet, but well, from our perspective, it's probably a crystal. I guess WallKicks only knows where one of the pendants is. The only risk is obviously that Ice Palace big chest.
What, are you saying there's a potential triple dip in our future?
I hope not.
I for one am sick of seeing the room with the stupid floor switch in it. Ugh. All right. Check out Icebreaker attempt number 3. Nice.
Well, that Turtle Rock small key can't be one that would get us to the West Dark World since it's locked by the hammer.
Yes. Speaking of which, hammer for humbugh. And another runner aware of the existence of the magic pots in that room. Though WallKicks was watching the race last night, so might have learned something yesterday as well.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to know where you can pick up magic in Ice Palace, because especially if you Icebreaker, you'll often find yourself, like, if you Icebreaker and kill the Freezors, then you need a little bit more magic than the 2 pots on the way to Cold Stare.
Yep. So we're having speculation about where the hookshot is, because the hookshot, of course, would solve our problems as well.
Yeah.
So keeping in mind where isn't blocked by hammer, where would you go looking for a hookshot?
So I'm not even. It could also be the Mitts too, though, because we obviously just have normal Mitts Dark World access. Also, the Mitts would give us the mirror, which would give us Tower of Hera, which would give us that entrance as well. So I'm not gonna be so. I'm not entirely sold that it's guaranteed to be the hookshot yet, though it is possible.
It's really nice fire rod dupes from WallKicks to crack open Cold Stare.
Yep, gets to save a little bit of magic and use the fire rod for some nice shots on those guys.
Yeah, unfortunately, then lets the puffs get free. So, but with 11 hearts red mail, Cold Stare doesn't do any damage anymore. So,
and it was our last pendant.
All right. Well.
So nothing, and only just getting the Ice Palace or the Turtle Rock Big Key is nothing too important right now.
No, it was a Turtle Rock small key.
Sorry, small, yeah. Now the big key would obviously be important.
Humbugh doing well with 50-50 bushes while killing time waiting for his bomb to explode. And WallKicks hasn't yet been to the Eastern Palace area, and so is going to check this bottom exit and be pleasantly surprised, I believe.
Yeah, because you can just take this down to the Flute 5 spot and go into the Palace of Darkness area if you want.
Yeah, this is
He even has
nice
the mirror.
Yeah. So apparently he's going straight to Flute 5 and we'll pick up the eastern entrance after pod.
Yeah, because you're not incentivized to walk to the pyramid right now because they've already gotten the 3 entrances up there. There is still the item, which could be a bit interesting as to when they get back to it. But I think right here, you just go, you do the both the fairy fountains, and then go to pod, get Eastern, and then probably save and quit. But you could walk all the way to the pyramid too.
I would expect to save and quit after the Eastern entrance. But I hate walking out of pod.
Well, no, I wasn't thinking he would walk out of pod. I was thinking that before pod, he would walk to the fairy entrances by Eastern and pod, and then walk back here and just get pod and Eastern.
Yeah, so this order makes me think he's planning on walking out.
Yeah.
In either the light world or the dark world, to check the fairies. You, by the way, play way more on entrance than I do. I don't know where the entrances go anymore. Like fairy fountains. I don't know where the fairy fountains are.
Ooh, that's a good connector, though.
That is a good connector. Well, rather, it's a terrible connector, but it's a good connector to find.
Yeah, if we have to do it again, it would be really bad.
I'm probably going to have to do it again. Let's be honest.
I mean, it depends what's over here. But yeah, you're probably right. You'll probably just find GT over here.
Hey, it's Thieves Town. for which we have assorted things. So I suspect WallKicks is going to do most of this right here.
Yeah, we'll see if that P in the left-hand corner of the screen will affect WallKicks' decision-making here.
If new features are screwing up Wally's mojo.
Because, I think if this is probably the exact scenario that he doesn't like. Because if you don't know this is a pendant or a crystal, you 100% clear this out. This is a terrible location to get back to. But there's only one chest in logic up in the back right now.
Yeah, but yeah, I think Wally should do it anyway, but we'll see.
Yeah, it makes it a decision because this is 100% you do it if there's no P up there, and I guess he's deciding that that little P is going to scare him out of here, and we're maybe come back here later after doing the rest of this because it's just such a bad location to get back to. But maybe you find another connector here.
Maybe. Humbug, remembering to go back to Mimic Cave, which we found an hour ago, which I'm all in favor of. We're going to tick that off on the way. And neither runner has actually checked the Desert Ledge, so that's our first sight of that item. It's the red meringue, which Wally does not want.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, he's got a choice, because I was like, you have no boomerang, so I guess he's hard blue boomerang fan club today. Or it's just quicker to get that one than the red one.
That's pretty close. It's an interesting choice there. Now I hope he finds GT and regrets he doesn't have a red meringue because it's not hook shot yet. But
yeah.
Or one of the other very limited corner cases where the red meringue is actually useful, or more useful than the blue meringue.
You can use it for those Cane of Samaria magic refills.
Ooh,
Okay, so Wally was just checking the rest of the entrances to see if maybe there's something that could convince him to not come in here. Like even the Thieves Town small key on a prayer would have been nice, but gonna go in here for the end.
The last thing you want is for the small key to be kicking around somewhere else nearby and pick it up just after you do all this. So,
absolutely.
I'm slightly surprised the decision wasn't to just check the rest of the entrances before checking the front four, but that's marginal.
Yeah, I think the front four are just so quick, and maybe you find the Quake Medallion in here and can open up the Mire entrance. So it cuts both ways.
You're absolutely correct. I enjoy that chat has, as usual for the Holy War about boomerangs, come up with all the possible answers. Pick them all up, pick none of them up. Red, blue. May the Holy War continue forever, as all such things do.
Yeah, I personally, I would have picked up the red one just because whenever I don't have a boomerang, I will pick up the one that I see. And then I probably pick up the blue one too, just because it's right there and it doesn't, the loss for having the blue boomerang, it doesn't affect your quick swap anymore.
There's Old Man Rescue Cave. I'm guessing that's not the logical way to the end of the mountain.
I mean, it is currently it's tied, I guess, depending on it's behind the flippers additionally, but they're both Moon Pearl locked.
Humbug traversing Bumper Cave with the cape, and opting not to mirror and also not to hop down.
Yeah, I don't know if he already saw that through the old lady connector or not. I'm interested. I'm surprised he didn't check the item.
So he doesn't have the top of Dark East Death Mountain entrances ticked off on. Oh no, he does. He's got them ticked off except for Turtle Rock Main. So he's been up there.
Yeah, he must have taken the old lady connector up to GT or up to the Tower of Hera. And there's the one item that's in Logic in Thieves Town is the Desert Palace Thingy.
Yep. Get in there.
So the trail of Pendant Big Keys in Pendant Dungeons continues. Desert Palace, it's going to end it because that's not a pendant anymore.
Yeah, it means we definitely needed to dip Eastern to definitely dip Thewstown. So, oops, all dungeons again. But that happens an awful lot in Crosskeys. So.
Yep, we've already seen. I mean, Agate Towers, it's on life support. It would need just that one item to have something. But we've already seen something in Ice Palace, Eastern, and now Thieves. GT, probably going to have something just because it's GT.
The day I see a Crosskeys seed where you don't have to at least dip GT, I'm sure it happens, but there's so much stuff in there that even if nothing's there, people are going to dip it anyway.
Yeah, the only time where you don't go into GT and Crosskeys is when it's like vanilla or in the pyramid entrance, and it just didn't have anything.
Yeah. Or if it's vanilla in the GT entrance and you need to go in there to find some swords.
Or the dreaded Agate Tower small key. The number one culprit for making people open the GT entrance in Crosskeys is that one of those small keys.
It makes me happy every time it happens, as a commentator.
It's certainly a rarity.
All right, catfish check.
So we're still looking for a surprising amount of stuff considering where these runners are. We still haven't found Pod, Mire, or GT. We need the hook shot or boots to get into Mire. We need the hook shot to beat Swamp. We need the bow, and we're going to need the ice rod too. And then also a bunch of big keys.
Yeah, this is... I mean, they still have a fair amount of Dark World, Overworld, ish, as well as all the mirror checks, speaking of which. This is presumably the solution to at least some of those item problems, and was locked by mirror, which was locked by a whole bunch of other crap. So, and that really last location, Moon Pearl, will have set cost both runners 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, and at this point, I think we're gonna have to. I think I wouldn't be surprised to see both Mire and Pod be mirror locked at this point, because like the entrances we have left, we've got like the Pod Ferry outside of Pod. We've got, and I don't even know what else we just have sitting out in the Dark World. We've got boots locked entrances too.
Yep, and Pyramid.
Yeah.
Which of course.
So Pyramid is on life support because Pod and Mire are the dungeons we're looking for, and they're both the red crystals.
Yeah, I realized that just as I was saying it. So
it's always nice. That's the one saving grace Crosskeys gives you a lot, is that your last dungeon to find is often one of the red crystals, so you can just eliminate the pyramid for that.
So the today's useless medallion found in tile room, doing nothing but making our quick swapping worse.
Yeah, they've even already beaten Ice Palace, so you're not even gonna maybe use it to bail you out of a low magic situation.
Humbugh might go back and beat Ice Palace yet, but I'd be surprised. Speaking of which, Humbugh has found our last 5-item cave. Hook shot, right side GT.
Yeah, so with that hook shot, I think it's down to Mitts or that one other Turtle Rock, because it's very unlikely that all 4 GT smalls were. Because we've gotten a bunch of them, sure, but they can't have all been in Logic.
Yeah, I attempted to keep track of which items are in Logic, but this particular seed, there's been some dynamic choices about which things are in Logic and which aren't. So.
Yeah, because like that whole Northwest Dark World was a bit of a question mark.
Tempered Sword?
That hook shot's definitely a big piece of the puzzle, because now you can just go and do Hookshot Cave for 4 free items. You can finish up Swamp Palace. You can do what WallKicks is doing.
And of course, you can do the left side, and finding it before you fully complete right side all the way to Ice Armos is also a little time safe.
Yeah,
Boomerang
it's also a key save too.
Yep.
And the blue he gets bailed out for his boomerang choice too.
Yeah. I mean, logically, you'll always have the hook shot before you do the left side, but Humbugh heads back to the Turtle Rock Ledge, which is another place we hadn't mentioned that is mirror locked, and finds Pod.
Yeah, I don't even remember. So did we? I think that's our first trip there, right? Because he took the Dark Connector on Dark Death Mountain there, right?
Yep. Thieves Town's small, which could yet pay off.
Yeah, that's a basically instant win chance there for Humbugh, having not found the Thieves Town yet. He'll just full clear that right away.
Hera Basement Key, unfortunate fetch quest. Bow and Pod.
Bow and Palace of Darkness. So the seed's starting to come together really quickly now.
Yeah. All of a sudden, this looks like a 2-hour seed is possible.
Yeah, we still got to get the Pod big key, the Mire big key, the Turtle Rock big key, and find Mire. And
yes. WallKicks' bomb skip setup, not quite as good as Zelda-san's, but still slick there. The bootsless warp skip there setups are something I hadn't seen a lot before this tournament. Maybe Ice Rod.
There's another go mode item in GT. But yeah, that bounce skip, I didn't see that either until this tournament. It's definitely pretty slick and pretty easy to set up.
You have the Caneburna WallKicks. It's got to be better than this.
I mean, he's got like...
Oh, no, he doesn't have any item. He doesn't have any magic. You're right. Sorry.
Yeah, at least it's Tempered Sword, because if you have the Master Sword and you lose your Sword Beams, it just becomes awful.
Yeah. Sorry, while I was busy watching Ice Armos, Humbugh found another piece, which is Flute, which doesn't give us logical anything, because we do have a way to the minor area, but at least makes flying around easier.
And there's an annoying big key in the Ice Armos with the Eastern Palace big. And chat really liking how WallKicks got the quick kill with the sword beams on the second of the last Armos there.
I'm impressed.
I'll be impressed if it was intentional. I've done that accidentally a couple of times, and it feels so good.
You get to feel clever even if you didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
I enjoy WallKicks quick swapping to get the item over the rail to quote-unquote save time there. And the Agate Tower key has turned up, so WallKicks is off to go pick up the second item.
Yeah, I have no idea where that one showed up. And that's required. So we do have officially progress in all of the dungeons.
Sorry, I missed what the second item in Agate Tower was. I was busy watching some Dark Maze action.
Mire Big Key.
Yep. All right.
So all the dungeons get to play today.
That is an unfortunate location for Humbugh.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for him to get back there because there's really... I mean, I guess the one saving grace is that he's going to have to get to GT, and if he has the Castle Tower small, he might just do it then.
Yep. And the mitts makes it more likely.
Okay, so those mitts... Yeah, so the mitts actually are probably our West Ark World now, because those are just available ever since we've had the lamp and mountain access. Or no, wait, no, because now that I think that actually makes it so it has to be the Turtle Rock, right? Turtle Rock was the way, but it's through the big chest entrance.
Yeah.
But those mitts are a really nice find for Humbug because he's not going to have to use that Palace of Darkness connector to get to the Mire area.
Yeah, no, the mitts and flute. Humbug's like, haha, I can go to Mire. And Humbug is going to walk through the screen that nobody ever walks through to get to Kakariko. This makes me happy. I don't know if it's correct, but it makes me happy. Your 7 quick spots suck when you're doing this. Though I'm kind of surprised it's starting at Graveyard Ledge. I guess walking out the back door of Old Man, there's a couple of screen transitions.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the fastest way, but it makes me smile because we get to see the screen we never get to see.
Yeah, that's the screen that you see. At least you get to see that one in some modes like NMG. It's the Curiosity Shop screen is the one that is on Crosskeys.
Yeah, I get to see the Curiosity Shop all the time because Crosskeys is my jam.
Yeah, that's true. That was one of the biggest adjustments coming into Crosskeys. Like, wait, there's something on that screen. I didn't even know that screen existed.
Well, you don't need to go buy yourself a replacement fire shield after getting it eaten. My favorite rando fact is that that shop sells fire shields even in expert mode. And so if you're doing like inverted expert bullshit, like it was fairly popular in the main tournament a couple years ago, you can go buy yourself a fire shield to do blind with when you're doing like 3-heart hammer blind or something.
Oh, that's good. That's good SGL qualifier tech because they're locked on the one shield.
Yeah, if you're doing super low percent blind for whatever reason.
Looks like Humbug is elected to choose no boomerangs.
I'm down with that. Yeah. We'll see how his GT left side goes. How many seconds it costs him not picking up a boomerang. And how many seconds he saves not having to quick swap past it.
And we'll get to see this entrance here, which this could be bad for Wally. This is like, we'll get to know if you find something, if Humbug finds something in either this entrance or the Thieves Town Big Chest, that's really good for him.
No.
Just free money.
And the runners are surprisingly broke for an hour and a half into a Crosskeys race. They have done all the things that cost money, but
well, I guess Humbug's gonna now have to spend some money here because you get locked out of Palace of Darkness. He'll have to go back and get the monkey to come back here. Though he probably just flute and mirror.
Mirror and flute and walk around again, like sigh.
Yeah,
I think
there's no good option.
I mean, frankly, of all the places to get spat out, Pod is great, especially because he has the way to escape. Because walking in there takes forever. So.
Oh yeah, that's actually going to be a time save for him doing that mirror and flute because now if he ever goes over and checks those pod entrances, then he won't have to check pod itself.
Deal with stupid monkey animations and
you don't support that crazy monkey extorting people.
Yakuza monkey just running a protection racket. There's another pod small for WallKicks at the back as well.
Yeah, it's a wonder when I don't even know if WallKicks checked the West Death Mountain Dark World entrance that you need to do to get to pod.
Yeah, he knows how to get back there a couple of different ways, so he'll eventually make his way over there, I think. Unfortunately for you, our dear audience, only Humbug is streaming a map tracker to us, so we can't see into WallKicks' brain. Humbug is streaming a door tracker, but very, very small. So.
Yes, for the people with great eyesight, they can tell which entrances he's been to.
I'm doing commentary on a 26-inch monitor. It's barely readable.
got a pretty nice first part of Argus there for WallKicks and gets the quick kill, so nice Argus fight there.
I like the choice of Ice Rod over Fire Rod for no reason by WallKicks.
Maybe it was quicker. No, it's not quicker to quick swap from the hook shot to that.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if that was just margin of error on the jamming on on R to get to the rods.
Because so right now, I think like once WallKicks finds pod, he'll just need the pod big and finding Mire.
Yep. But that is a just asterisk, right? Like,
yeah,
that could be either the trivial or another hour.
No, I think he might get it if he doesn't have those two entrances in the light world or the dark world, because he's going here to do Tower of Hera, and he could go and check those mountain entrances after.
Yeah,
though it is quite long to walk up the mountain.
Yeah, but it's not like he has particularly dense other places left. Where was the connector to GT? Not anywhere good.
The connector to GT is Witch's Hut.
Yeah. And with no flute, he's just going to walk up the mountain here, I think.
Yeah, and also there's Spike Cave up there, which neither runner has checked. He can get that.
This Herapod is no longer saving time. Oof. Definitely no
Yeah,
longer
with big
saving
key in
time.
hand, you got to be pretty quick to save time.
And Humbug now gets to feel all right about doing Thieves' Town and Eastern earlier. I bet you both these guys are hoping in the back of their head that the other guy hasn't done the Eastern dip. So given the last location of the Moon Pearl, or the crappy location of the Moon Pearl.
Oh god, that's terrible for WallKicks.
Yep. All right. You want to run our prediction right now on who wins this race?
I mean, it seems like a rigged one, because that was one of Humbug's very easy win conditions.
Yeah.
You would need an equally bad swing the opposite direction with the pod big key, I think, at this point for WallKicks.
Yep. Or like boots for Mire at Bog Rocks or something.
Man, these big keys just burying themselves in unneeded dungeons. You got Agatau or GT, all the Pendant dungeons hoarding the big keys.
Well, and WallKicks feels pretty good about doing Thieves' Town earlier and getting a required big key out of it. Like, yeah, I never go back in there. Beat Thieves' Town, got the thing, get to feel smart, and then sometime from now, he's going to be like, where's the Turtle Rock big key at?
Yeah, because it's hard to imagine that being anything but a last location.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll get to see the Tower of Hera basement, though, here from WallKicks.
Yeah, so this is a possibility for a big swing in the other direction.
Yeah, because this is not something that Humbug will be getting to anytime soon. Though I think he has the... No, because he did it with the big key, so he has the big chest done already.
Yep. He does have the flute, which... and this is right next to a flute spot. And so it's... I think... And it's sort of more separate from the dungeon than the Thieves' Town big chest is. I think a runner is much more likely to come back and check Hera Basement on a separate trip than go and get the Thieves' Town big chest. So even if something is here, it's not quite as big a deal.
And it's also just nice sometimes, like an hour and a half in, you're trying to think about what you got left and what you do. Just pop into Tower of Hera Basement for a nice little break and collect your thoughts.
Or you're like, man, I can make this choice or I can make that choice, but I gotta pee.
Absolutely. So we'll get to
Humbug's
see
not.
one entrance here, though, that it's been available for a very long time, and neither runner has done yet. This Palace of Darkness Fairy entrance.
And also the pyramid item.
Yep.
WallKicks, gets the mirror out. Is going to go pick up the mushroom during this trip.
Yeah, we'll see if he's going to do Spike Cave or do the dark entrances. Looks like he's going to the dark entrances. So this will be good for him. He'll find the pod entrance.
He can come back for Spike, or if these didn't pay, he could have come back for Spike. He's not excited by connectors at the moment, which I think is fair, and I certainly going up and around again and checking it after is reasonable. But
yeah, I think you go up and around because I think he might actually be interested in connectors because of the number of connector he's followed without finding the laser eye entrances.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if he's done Bumper Cave yet, but we saw that from Humbugh, and that's like we haven't seen Laser Bridge, I guess, but we've seen most of the connectors, so it's decently likely that from his perspective that's going to be one of the guaranteeds.
Speaking of which, Humbugh comes out Bumper Upper and checks the Light World version, which is a mirror-locked location. Finds the library, which with another item cave off the list. Nothing there, but and here's Desert. We have the big key, so let's go kill Linmo.
Yeah, he doesn't. It looks like he doesn't know that this is a crystal or not. So it's a. But I think finding out if this is your last crystal or not is worth it to do it out of logic.
Yeah. Also, yeah, for whatever it is, at least 65% a crystal, plus an item, plus some information is all good things. I assume that Humbugh has enough maps to actually get full info, but I don't think he's actually done a map check.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have the desert map, and if you need the Ice Palace map for full info, right?
Yeah.
All right, WallKicks has made his way into pod. We'll get the bow, and we'll see if when he gets back to Eastern, because that'll probably happen before getting back to Thieves.
Yeah. What?
He's gonna do what he did with Thieves Town and check this entrance first, and then go back in.
Yeah, it's fair. I guess after your first reasonable mirror, that's a choice. Humbugh taking an opportunity to throw away a fairy while waiting on the duck. Not entirely sure why.
Yeah, I wonder if that was a quick swap issue, because you could have a quick swap from the flute to the
right. Yeah, just jamming on the buttons and accidentally threw a fairy away. Get out of here!
Because he's got the mirror and the moon pearl. There's no really reason to get rid of your fairy at this point.
All right, everybody, keep an eye out on an unintentional death from Humbugh that where he regrets throwing away the fairy, because that would be funny. And Humbugh mirrored out after picking up that bow. I found kind of funny at the time. I assume it was just muscle memory, because the only thing that could possibly make you want to continue there is exactly the bow. So
yeah, it takes when you've already made the correct play and quick swap to the item you need next, so you can use it immediately. It would take a lot of awareness to be able to switch off that and go back to the bow and do the bow lock side.
It's just a heart piece.
We'll get to see the hammer peg entrance over here as well.
just while these guys are doing stuff, a reminder that there is another race, game 2 of the other semifinal, between Zelda and Goomba, is not quite straight after this race. It's at midnight my time, 7 p.m. Eastern. So stick around for that. It'll be on this channel, and it'll be great.
Yeah, hopefully those runners after this race and the last race will get something where they can really do it quickly.
I hope so. Hoping for like a 125 God route by one of the runners. I'm kind of surprised Humbug is doing, blue, purple chest turn in and smiths and stuff. I guess following the myths, but and is going to go pick up this map that we saw ages and ages and ages ago.
Yeah, I guess on his tracker he does. Yeah, he doesn't have Turtle Rock. He doesn't know whether or not that's a crystal.
There we go. That's the one we needed.
Yeah, and then I definitely agree with you about the purple chest thing here, because he hasn't found GT or Meyer yet, and those are both pretty dense locations to be able to clear.
Yeah, like this purple chest is one check. GT's out there somewhere with 20
Okay, though, so something to note. Okay, Humbug just walked past Agate Tower, so we're already talking about we're going to need something bad for Humbug for WallKicks to have a chance. And I think now we have a chance, because that the Meyer Big Key is sitting in Agate Tower second chest.
He doesn't have the key yet. It's in here, I think.
Ah, okay, yeah. Maybe we'll see if he does go back.
Yeah, that's not just Humbug goofing up.
It's an ice palace.
Well, that's actually, yeah.
Man, dueling double dips. I mean, it's clear. It's a lot more likely that Humbug gets back to Ice Palace, but he could still put it off for quite a while, especially in a Kakariko well against Tower Seed.
Yeah, we might have to do the worst possible commentary, which is when we know everything and the runners don't, and we get to just like scream at the screen for a while.
Yeah, because it's very possible that both of these we have no mode for like 10 minutes, and then both these runners start doing the climb or something like that.
Yeah. Which is when the fact that these runners are honest and not screen sniping becomes very clear. By the way, watching the tiles when you're using cape, like, super weird.
And of course, the other thing for Humbug is he could just find the other Caster Tower small.
Yes.
The one that's not an ice palace. Well, I mean, they could both be an ice palace. We didn't see the big chest yet.
Cool. After finding out that Ice Palace is a pendant, which he has, I would assume Humbug is going to deprecate that dip until the big key turns up if he can.
Yeah.
Hookshot also gives him a bunch of things to do.
And I don't think we've seen Hookshot Cave yet from either runner.
Nope. They've both gone through it, and I think neither one of them has gone back. I mean, Humbug obviously hasn't gone back, but...
Which is actually interesting from Humbug because... Oh, no, he didn't have the Hookshot. Okay, he just got it, because he was right by Hookshot Cave. WallKicks has not been anywhere near there yet.
Every time I do this room, I feel stupid because I get hit by something or I fall off, and it makes me happy watching really excellent runners like Humbug just get owned by that spike. Like...
Yeah, I don't even know how they intended people to figure out how to do that room without an invincibility item.
I have a GIF of how to do it.
I saw him do it. I know there's a way to do it, but I just can't imagine some 12-year-old picking up this game and doing it ever.
That's fair. I find it interesting that having found the hookshot, Humbug continued through the right side. He does have all the GT smalls. And I guess from there, it's probably correct even though it saves a a key, but he doesn't care. He got them all.
Yeah. The one sort of advantage you could get, I guess, if you were to find the big key in Ice Armor. But then again, you could just walk back for that through here. But then again, if you do walk back through, then you're right on the left side. So, I don't know. I think the fact that big key could be on Ice Armos adds some bonus to this play.
Yeah.
Though, yeah, chat pointing out that it cuts the other way too, where the left side big key would lose some time.
Yeah, there's more chance of it being on the left side. I don't know. I have no definitive answer, but I find it interesting that our runners disagree, I guess, on the correct play there.
Well, I think WallKicks had fewer keys, so I think from WallKicks' perspective, it was definitely correct for him to do it the way he did. Because he was
He had 3.
Okay, true. Yeah, I can remember if he was on 2 or 3. Because if you're on 2, then you definitely want to save the key.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure he was on... Because he got the third one out of the Hope Room.
Oh, yeah. There was the key in GT, and then the last one was in Lion's Hut.
Yeah. And doing this way saves you doing the stupid warps room, so...
And WallKicks... I thought he was going to go into Hookshot Cave there, but I decided not to. Though maybe he's saving the portal for there and doing it after Verbal Chest. I don't know. It's conspicuous that he walked towards Hookshot Cave and then flew it away.
Hey, Boots!
So if it might be easy to forget, but Humbug also has the purple chest right now, so he should be getting those boots soon too.
Yeah, and here we go. Fluted back, portaled, and now Hookshot Cave.
Okay, I don't remember where this takes him, but it must be somewhere that he wants to actually take. Then that makes this route make sense. Because otherwise you just leave the purple chest. Okay, so that's actually no mode now. Other than, well, for items at least. We need to find Meyer. And with the boots, I think it's actually no mode because we can get every location in the game now.
Yep. Except for the ones that Meyer can't beat.
Yeah. GT and Pyramid Fairy cannot have Meyer.
Yes, and as Tom is pointing out, we've been spat at it.
So yeah, now it's just a Meyer hunt, but then also WallKicks has the unfortunate of having to get back to the Thieves Town big chest. It's very rare that you get back to that and then still end up winning the race, but not impossible.
Not impossible, especially considering that we know that Humbug has to go into ice to get the Aga Tower small key to get the Meyer big key.
Yeah, if we say, for instance, see the second castle tower small on Vitreous, then this is a little more interesting.
Yeah. I have lost streams.
Maybe you were ahead of me. I still have them on the commentary stream.
All right. Well, hopefully you do some commentary. I'll hope that they turn back up again.
Okay. Well, we've got WallKicks is making his way to the back of Desert, and Humbug just saved and quit to the old man, so was presumably fluting somewhere. Oh no, he's going to Swamp.
All right. Chat was with me not having streams, so thank you for radio commentary.
Yes, a nice 30 seconds.
During which time WallKicks has completed Desert Palace.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys saw Humbug get the small key to Turtle Rock from the Desert Torch.
I did not. Have they found? They have not found Laser Bridge entrance, right?
No, and I'm trying to think if there's any guaranteed connectors. I don't think there are any guaranteed connectors left out there. Yeah, I'm pretty confident.
Right. So it's out there somewhere. Yep. Or it's the pyramid.
Pyramid too, yeah.
Who is winning? The answer is humbug.
Yes. It is not easy to tell, but there is one item that Humbug has that WallKicks probably will never get, and that is the Turtle Rock Big Key in the Thieves Town Big Chest, which WallKicks did without the small key.
Yes. On the other hand, WallKicks has the Misery Mire Big Key, which Humbug doesn't have, which is in Aga Tower. And the Aga Tower key that we have seen is in Ice Palace, which both runners have dipped, but Wally went back and completed. So Humbug might get bailed out by the other Castle Tower small key. Or we're in Screaming at the Screen mode at some point.
Yes. If they both fully last locate it, then it'll be a close race. It's just that the odds of Humbug doing it in his bottom 5 locations is higher than Humbug like skipping something for that Thieves Town Big.
Yeah, this has the potential to be unfortunate, but
this is probably going to be a seed where both the runners feel for about 30 minutes that the opponent is about to finish and are shocked when they end up winning.
Well, they aren't both shocked that they end up winning, because that would be problematic for the
whoever ends up winning.
Well, I would so Moon Pearl on Zora is one of those locations that I think you don't feel that bad when you last location it really hard, which both runners did, because it's kind of terrible. And then for a long time the only logical access they had was the gloves, and like it's one location and it kind of sucks. On the other hand, you have this like little voice in the back of your mind, like maybe my opponent didn't do that. Maybe my opponent didn't do that for the next hour. So.
Yeah, I think that it's in Crosskeys. I think you got to kind of keep a level head when you last look at the mirror somewhere, or the Moon Pearl, and somewhere like Zora, because you can, as long as you didn't have to do really long bunny walks, you don't tend to lose that much time, because you were going to check those Light World entrances anyway. It's just if there's some sort of efficiency, like there's a Light World entrance you have to go back to now that you wouldn't have had to if you had gotten the Moon Pearl early. Yeah.
In both runners' case, the answer is Ice Palace. And in fact, one of the things that wouldn't surprise me that Humbug, or like one of Wally's outs, is that Humbug's like, I went to Ice Palace, it gave me the flips, but like, oh my god, I can't go back to Ice Palace. Like if there's something's there, I just lose. It being in Humbug's brain, despite the fact that that there's something there, in fact, is the necessary move. Does that make sense? Am I being coherent?
No, I get it. Yeah. Especially because it's if they find the GT Big Key, then the climb is in logic and has 9 items. And
WallKicks have done that. So
yeah, I don't know where that was, and it must have been.
And so we're a reminder for those that weren't here at the time. We know that the well is behind the GT climb. We also know that there's nothing there. So
the funny thing that could be there is the other Castle Tower small.
Yes. Humbug having a much less good phase 2 than WallKicks did. Actually getting beaten up by Argus. Just like merv. Yeah.
So I'm trying to think where we haven't seen that could have Mystery Mire.
Have we seen the Ice Palace entrance?
Yes, Humbug did it. Oh, TR Mire. We saw Mire entrance, so I think it has to be TR entrance at this point. So that ether that we found really early in Eastern Palace is looking required.
Hookshot Cave, which we were shouting about WallKicks, remember going back to, and then promptly didn't notice that he actually got items out of. Other than the pod big that we were busy talking about. So one of those two things is bait. Because it wouldn't surprise me to see WallKicks do the GT climb pretty aggressively.
Yeah, because I mean, you might. There's definitely a reason to do. I think you try to find Meyer first because you know you need to do that, and he can full clear it. And then you beat Meyer. Then maybe Pod's in an annoying spot. I don't know if you go there right away.
Yeah. This is WallKicks off to check the ferry entrances. And Humbug actually traversing TR to the bottom from the middle, having gone to the top from the middle earlier in the seat. So unlike almost all Crosskeys races, we're actually going to see all of the connected up bits of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, you tend to go in Turtle Rock and do it some weird piecemeal and don't do a bunch of the screens. But we'll get to see where this laser bridge is probably the pyramid. Which could be bad if Humbug decides to check it here.
I don't think Humbug has a good reason to actually take the safety door here. There's nowhere he's looking for, no area of the world he's looking for. I don't think there's any exit-only locations he actually wants. So, yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. That's just good game knowledge by Humbug, knowing exactly what you just said there, where they have Meyer access, they found all of the exit-only locations that they need. I believe they actually just found all of them, so it's not going to be anywhere interesting.
Yeah, and it's not like he needs the safety door for safety.
Oh, so. No, not with Blue Mail 18 Hearts and Half Magic and Tempered Sword. All right, this is the time where WallKicks is close to the Thieves Town Big Chest, but there's no way he's going in there. It just doesn't make any sense. But he's looking for Meyer, so hoping for Vanilla Meyer.
Yeah, and given that we've already had one cheating scandal in this tournament, it's kind of good news that Wally is not beelining that big chest right here. So the big keys that Humbug needs, Pod Big is in Hookshot Cave, and the Misery Mire Big Chest is in Castle Tower, and the Castle Tower key that we have seen is in the Ice Palace Big Key Chest. And yes, one of the people that made it to brackets, whose name I will not repeat, was fairly blatantly stream sniping in a bracket match against Zelda, and on investigation has been banned from everything. So there's more information on the tournament Discord and elsewhere. Don't cheat, people. It's bad.
Yeah, we're just here trying to play Randomizer for fun, and yeah, just do it. Humbug getting a bit trolled by that berry there. Luckily left one of the pots up. Oh, the berries are 2-0 right now.
But he's got a hook shot. Just
And there's Meyer where we knew it had to be.
Yes. The only thing that's in here we know is the crystal, but Wally's going to full clear.
Yeah, you could find something like silvers or another sword, I guess. But yeah, we're definitely in yelling at the screen mode. Looks like Humbug is going right to GT. Yeah, he's doing the climb right now.
There's the fact that there's a second Castle Tower key out there is very good news for Humbug, I guess. Now it doesn't have to be anywhere convenient, but it's out there somewhere.
Yeah,
You know, and
I'm
he-
surprised to see the climb from him right now, though, because he could go and just beat Helmasaur King and find Meyer, right? And you have to find Meyer. That's a chore that you're going to have to accomplish this seed to win.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the Meyer big yet, and so finding Meyer is less exciting.
That's true, yeah. It's different for WallKicks. He just finds it and full clears it, whereas if it's in a bad spot, Humbugh's going to have to go to that bad spot twice.
Yeah, and I mean, you find it, and then you go in, and you're like, I really hope the big key's here somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I can definitely see it when you put it that way, because then you don't have the temptation of the Meyer dip, and it's also just as likely to be, a little bit more likely to be up in the climb.
Yeah. So WallKicks doing Vitreous, I'm not going to say first, but certainly pretty close to go moding this dungeon. We'll see if he goes back in after this doesn't drop the thing he's looking for, which I suspect he will.
Yeah, this is definitely I'm one item from go mode, let's beat the boss sort of play.
Yeah, which is slower if it doesn't pay off. Now we're going to have to do a Silver's fight at the end of all this. Silver's on Vitreous, kind of unfortunate. One of the few, other than Ganon, one of the few places in the game where Silvers are really useful.
Yeah, it's sort of like the vanilla game where the Vitreous locks the Silver arrows because they know that they're too good against him.
Humbugh missing a wizard shot there. And then misses the door entry because he's off script.
Yeah, it's pretty. So these runners are 2 hours in, but they've done a lot of this seed. Like for it feels like it's a bit of a longer seed, but they still have made a lot of progress. They're really showing off their skill in this mode.
Yeah, one of the there's a decent amount of variance in Crosskeys, right? There's a lot more stuff that can happen, but I feel like the skill margin in Crosskeys is just between the like top guys and the sort of 4 and 4, 5 and 3 type players in the brackets is like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
On average, so
because you'll see full clears from these semifinals taking like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I feel like the like worst time you're going to see out of someone like these guys is 235, like full stop. 217 checks, terrible layout, 235.
Which is, it's actually, if you watched yesterday's and today's race, you're going to get a sample of more of the lower end in terms of, or higher end of completion times, because both these seats have been pretty bad so far.
Pretty bad, yeah. Well, this one, I think, isn't quite as bad as it's being made to look. I think the runners have made choices that were unfortunate. And in, the same runners doing the seed on a different day might very well have not, left behind the view stand big chest or whatever. It's within the variance of the decisions that they might reasonably make to have not gotten just owned by terrible locations. Ice Palace big key for WallKicks. I'm sure he's happy to see that. So
another bad big key.
Humbugh did not find anything of interest because there wasn't anything on the climb, but is now off to get 5 more potentially Castle Tower small keys.
And will this be our first look at the Pyramid Ledge item?
No, Humbugh checked it earlier. Apparently it's the bug net.
I see.
And we need to set up a shortcut for the obvious questions that people keep asking. Yeah, the things are Castle Tower and Thieves' Town Big Chest.
So we've got a bad and a terrible location for these runners. All right, so the well hasn't... There's the book, so I guess that could... What's this one? Pod, okay. So logically required well.
Yeah. Whatever. And I don't know where Humbug's off to at a rate of knots.
WallKicks is off to beat Helmasaur King.
Oh, we're just running straight to Bombo's tablet. Okay. Oh, and Bonkrocks. Okay. Thank you, chat, for answering the questions that are coming up over and over again, and thank you, half of you, for knowing the answers. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the same thing because people are tuning in to see how this race is going, and both the runners are one item from go mode, and it'll probably be like that for at least another 10 minutes.
Yes, as mentioned, screaming at the screen mode. Boy.
Humbugh doesn't have that much. We might see an Eastern Palace dip before the Ice Palace dip because you're thinking, okay, there is probably no way that you had to deal into the Eastern, and there's no way you single dip it, right? Whereas Ice Palace, there's a world where somebody could have single dipped that.
Yeah, and the metagaming is real at this point, right? Like, what do you think your opponent has done? Do you need to make high variance choices to have a chance, right? Because just optimizing your expected time is not correct at some point. If you think you're losing, you should actually make quote unquote bad choices in order, assuming that you think that the game state is the same for both players, in order to maximize your chances of winning.
Yeah, that's a huge point, and it's one of the big things about 1v1 races here. Like, if you're just watching this, it seems like, these people are just playing two one-player games and then just comparing at the end. But when you're actually playing 1v1, you got to think about stuff like that because you got to know, like, how do I feel about how I'm doing so far, and do I think my opponent did better?
All right, so Humbugh got a book as payoff for his climb, and was not interested in leaving any of those possible outs behind, and immediately went and checked them both. Neither of them paid. He's now sad. He's now like, oh god, I'm losing.
Well, we'll see. He's got actually a couple more minutes because if he gets something from one of the pod 50, because he got 2 pod keys from the well, so he'll get the full clear pod. So if he gets something from the vanilla big key chest or the Harmless Hellway, he might feel okay because your opponent's probably not getting both of those.
And Humbugh is not very aggressively looking for Misery Mire. Like, he is, but the actual entrance, because he also he's still shy of the big key. And he's down to few enough entrances. Per his tracker, Bonkrocks, King's Tomb, Turtle Rock are the only 3 places in the world he hasn't checked that Misery Mire could possibly be in. So,
though I think after this pod clear, I think he'll really clamp down because his other options are just Eastern Dip and Ice Palace Dip. So he's probably going to hope for the Vanilla Mire big key.
Yeah. Unfortunately, getting from pod to Turtle Rock is not easy. And so I would actually guess that he's going to last location Misery Mire. And then dip it. And it's not going to be there. And he's going to be like, oh god, oh god, oh god. We got another 15 minutes of this yet, folks.
Yeah, because you can save and quit to the back of Old Man and use that for Bonkrocks and King's Tomb right away.
Yeah, I expect that to be Humbugh's next play after going back in here and getting the last couple of chests. And so each of the runners is getting progressively more panicked about their opponent having done the reasonable things or the right things.
Yeah, and one thing that we might see from WallKicks is he might open if he's got his entrances fully tracked, he might just open up the pyramid for Laser Bridge and hope that the Turtle Rock Big is in there. And there's that other Castle Tower Small and Desert Right. So yeah, I think the clock is definitely on Humbug's side there because he's gonna get to one of those two. I don't know where the Desert Palace Small was, but it was probably in Meyer actually.
Yeah,
unless that was in Meyer Big Chest.
That would be excellent.
Because I think this is GT from WallKicks here.
It is worth noting that I don't think either runner has checked King's Tomb, which could be actually Lizard Bridge.
Ah, okay. I thought we had seen that one.
Pretty sure no. I certainly don't remember the save and quit to the back of Old Man, which is the way that they would get there. So,
well, he did bond tracks for some other way, and then
okay. Yeah. All right. Tom is telling us that Wally certainly went in there. All right. Now Wally's doing the GT climb. So, sorry.
Yeah, and we'll probably see something really similar to what Humbug has just done. I don't know if Wally will go back into pod with the newly found 2 small keys, but he'll probably rush that book check too.
Yep. No, I mean, Wally's making the right choices, right? This is the frustrating part here, right? Like, Wally is making the right choices, but they're not going to work out.
Yeah. It's not like yelling at the screen for a horror movie where the people are making terrible choices and they're predictably working out terribly. This is making the right choices and us wanting you to make the wrong choice to get rewarded for it.
Yep. So a reminder, while we're being mad at the runners for doing the right thing that turns out not to work, there is another race in 50 minutes on this channel. Game 2 of the other semifinal match between Zelda-san and Goomba. Zelda was in here earlier. Checking out the competition. So stick around for that match if it's at a reasonable time in your neighborhood. Jinxie and I will be doing commentary on that race, so it'll be good. All right, Humbug is making those 2 checks that we said he was going to make. Did you see what King's Tomb was this time?
I did not catch it.
Fun. I was busy getting ads. Okay. All right. A nice ride. Okay, we saw this. All right, and now Humbug is off to open Turtle Rock front door, I'm pretty sure.
Yep, he's going to take this to Ganon's Tower and then walk over to Turtle Rock.
Man, having to traverse this cave multiple times in a seed, like, couldn't have been in here the other way around.
Yeah, just flip it around so that you can take the quick way to GT.
Chat telling us that King's Tomb is today's location for the speakeasy.
Man, that would be a sick grave. Imagine you having a secret pub, well-frequented pub underneath your own grave. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's an excellent, like, Prohibition era speakeasy.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of irony if your king outlawed alcohol and then you have a bar in his grave.
Yeah, never mind tomb robbing. We're doing tomb renovations.
All right, so Humbug is going to get into Misery Mire and be disappointed about the lack of the vanilla Mire Big Key.
Yep.
But then he will get the Desert Palace Small and will probably get to the right side of Desert relatively quickly. He might. I think you do that before you dip Eastern.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's like new info.
Yeah, and it's 3. It's 2 fast items versus 3 pretty slow ones. And if you want, you can take the desert right. You can go in the Dark World desert right entrance, and then if you're not satisfied, immediately mirror to Eastern Palace.
Yep. Well, I mean, Eastern is right next to Link's house, so...
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying, is that the desert right entrance is right there, too, just in the Dark World.
Alright. Our second unnecessary GT completion of the day.
And I think even if it had just been one of the one items behind the GT, I think you still would have seen this from the runners. Maybe you see it a little later from Humbugh.
Yeah.
It wasn't even the classic 5 extra items from the well bait.
Yeah. Going back to the discussion about whether you do Eastern or Desert next, I think the metagaming against the opponent on Humbugh's side is like he's crossing his fingers that it's the desert pays off, because that's more like a more likely win than it being an Eastern.
Yeah, because then it would be you make your Meyer double dip and feel like it was needed.
Yeah. Which for Humbugh it will be, right? Like this will actually solve his problems.
Yeah.
And so the problem with all this logic is that is Humbugh going to see that castle tower key and be like, "Haha, I'm going to go do that right now," or does he go back to doing other nonsense? Because Agate Tower is not in a great spot either.
No, and it's only the one item, and I think the good thing is like with that the castle tower small key, it will prompt you. So like even if you had forgotten about that second item, you'll remember. But I think it might make more sense to do Eastern for Green Pendant and Pedestal, or I guess Pedestal would be after Ice Palace. But you do Green Pendant, Eastern maybe first.
Man.
Especially since you got Sahasrara in Kakariko, and you've got the Agate Tower at the archery game. And yeah, we are going to see WallKicks go here and buy the big bomb to open up what he presumably knows is the laser bridge.
Jeez. WallKicks is now the most loyal patron of the bomb shop I've ever seen. That was 2 purchases of regular bombs and 1 big red bomb in the same race. And he left behind his portal next to the pyramid, which makes me really happy.
Yeah, because that's sometimes flat out required in Crosskeys. It wasn't here, but it's good knowledge to do that there. Really good routing there to do the climb and then immediately open up what you believe to be a laser bridge.
And we believe correctly. Which means both Humbugh and WallKicks have made the right choice.
And both Humbugh and WallKicks know where every single entrance in this game is.
Yeah. Up to tracking / memory, which is not perfect, even for top tier runners.
Oh, he's gonna get Crystal Roller Room too here. Man, that would be an obnoxious spot for the Turtle Rock Big Key if that was where it was.
Yep. No, and it could have totally been in logic.
Yeah.
Up to details, but I mean, he's
all right,
only
so Humbugh did go into Ice Palace and did get that Castle Tower small from there, but we'll probably see him clear this out.
Yep. And then go to Desert, do Desert right, and get another Castle Tower small. Aye.
Yeah, because I think WallKicks' main out is this, that they both full clear the seed and he's a little bit faster.
Yep.
Because at this point, WallKicks does have a couple bosses on him, so this is probably going to be Eastern Palace here from WallKicks. And then, because the one thing WallKicks could skip is the Ice Palace Big Chest, but I think from a meta standpoint, like you've been saying, you probably do that one first because it was so deep, but that also could be just like a coin flip.
Yeah. And Eastern is faster to get to. And I think both of these guys are famous, or not famous, anti-Eastern people like Zelda is, but are positioned as being anti-Eastern. So
Yes, the two factions of Crosskeys are your boomerang color and your Eastern dipping choice.
yeah, we can do some personality testing. Speaking of which, here's the Eastern option from WallKicks. This is quote-unquote new information, everybody. New information.
Yeah, we got to see some new information on Humbug side, too. The 6th pod small was in the Ice Palace Big Chest, so as if there wasn't enough required pendant stuff. That's not really required, but the seed thinks it is.
I don't know if there's been a standing art piece that they've left behind. Let's say yes. Let's say yes, the 20 heart dream is alive, just because it makes me happy. Chat tells me that the answer is no. Where's Humbug? Oh, he's off to go read the pedestal.
Yeah, because it's interesting to me to read the pedestal here because you probably go to Eastern anyway, right? It's 3 items. Maybe you do Desert first if it's not something good.
Yeah, it seems like a long walk to decide if you're doing Eastern or not.
So, like in another world, if Ice Palace had been over in Kakariko, for instance, then maybe you read it first because it could change what you do. All right, where is WallKicks heading now? And yeah, the chat pointing out the piece of heart in library is definitely one that they skipped.
Yep, there was the one freestanding piece of heart.
Okay, so we've got the green pendant turn-in from WallKicks here. And we're going to see Desert from Humbug.
Sorry, I just need to... You said that as if, like, here's the green pendant turn-in. Maybe it'll be something useful.
No, I was just wondering, because WallKicks has so little left that I'm always wondering what he's going to do at this point.
All right, there's the second Castle Tower small key, which we know is the thing. But
Humbug's in a full pedestal. I mean, WallKicks, sorry.
And here's WallKicks doing his ped check.
Oh, and this is good for WallKicks. Humbug's going to Eastern.
All right, chat. How mad are you with the runners at this point? Are you at full-on like football screaming at the screen levels? Or are we still at like baseball screaming at the screen levels?
I'm definitely at the football levels. I'm glad I have push to talk on. So, okay, I can't remember if WallKicks did Spike Cave always up here. Okay, he didn't, because that one, if he could have also been going up here for Ice Palace, but he might be doing them both. And you can see a no magic use Spike Cave.
Yeah, we're just real buff. Walk around on spikes.
Okay, so this tells me that he's going to do Ice Palace Big Chest. So it's going to be a full-on last location. And you can't really blame WallKicks here because the Ice Palace Big Chest is quicker than the Thieves' Town Big Chest. And the Ice Palace Big Key was also really late, so you're thinking your opponent probably did not get to go through here. They had to also either double or triple dip to get it.
The hilarious thing about this is, you know, all the guys are busy metagaming, you know, where hasn't my opponent gone, etc., etc., etc. And of course, they're doing different things, right? Like, they're missing different pieces. And so all of their metagaming is raw in subs. It's,
Though, honestly, I think WallKicks is actually sitting pretty good here because I think that Humbug will get the Mire big before WallKicks gets the Turtle Rock big, but it's going to be pretty fast for WallKicks to beat Trinex, whereas Humbug is going to take a little bit longer to get to Mire and beat it. So this is definitely, I'm feeling the best that I've felt about WallKicks' chances in the past, like, 30 minutes right now.
You're saying that WallKicks has done futile things faster than Humbug has done futile things.
Yeah, and then like the fact that Meyer is a slower clear and slower to get to than Laser Bridge, especially because WallKicks already opened up Laser Bridge, so he can just go in there.
Yes. It does have to run all the way back to the pyramid, but
yeah, it's a little bit longer than running back to the Meyer, but still not as bad.
Yeah, they're both. I don't know how much. Yeah, I mean, Meyer certainly is longer than just running into.
Oh, and now Humbug's doing Tower of Hera Basement.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Jeez. So this one, I'm going to be interested to see these collection rates here.
Yeah, we're in the like 205 territory, I think.
Yeah, it's all about how many. It's really just about how many freestanding items there are because they've literally full cleared every. Well, I guess they have the GT big chest too. I think.
Oh, jeez. Yes. Neither one of them got. By the way.
No, neither of them did it. I don't even know where WallKicks is going right now. Oh, Ether Tablet.
Yes. Book checks.
Oh, no, I guess it's Pod.
Ah, yeah, because he got a bunch more pod smalls. So I gotta go.
One.
Gotta go get the vanilla GT pod big chest. GT. God damn it. Pod big key chest. I have to talk for another 2.5 hours after this race. Hopefully that race goes better. All right, Dan, it's your turn to do the recap about what the players are looking for.
Yes, so we've been in the same world for about a half hour now. So WallKicks cleared out Thieves Town without the small key, and then the big key to Turtle Rock is in Meyer, and then in the Thieves Town bit. And then the big key to Meyer is in Agate Tower, which WallKicks was able to get because he full cleared Ice Palace a while ago and got a small key from there. Whereas Humbug only recently got those 2 Castle Tower smalls and just hasn't been back there because it's one item and it's not in a good spot. So it's really who's going to last locate. I think Humbug wins if he does anything except last locates. If he does second to last, third to last for his big key, I think he'll win. But if they both last location, then WallKicks has probably got this one. So it's how many things will Humbug skip is kind of the name of the game right now. And see, like this looks like the main problem that GT big key chest is out there, and it's right on the way to Agate Tower.
Yep. I mean, I think this is that.
Yeah, I think Humbug's going to do 2 more checks, and then I think WallKicks. I don't know if he did Bombo's tablet, but then he's gonna get over to Thieves Town. Oh, this has got to be it. There's nothing else over here, so the clock's tipping on Humbug, but he's making the right choice too. So it's gonna be Humbug will definitely get the key faster, but he has a longer dungeon.
So reminder, this is game 3 of the semifinals, and Scott G, one of our volunteers, who's been keeping good stats in addition, pointing out that this will be the new worst winning time for either player so far in 8 weeks of Swiss and multiple rounds of playoffs. So Humbug just found the thing. Is Meyer enough slower that WallKicks running to the big chest and then going and doing Trenex is worse than doing Meyer from here?
It's going to be close, man. I would think that Meyer will be quicker than because if Laser Bridge was a little closer, like if Laser Bridge was also in the Meyer area, I think WallKicks would have it. But I think it's going to come down to just that little bit of travel time difference. Though the one thing that is good is that it's kind of close to get from Turtle Rock Front to Ganon. You can mirror from that Curiosity stop and run to the Lost Woods.
Yep.
But yeah, this is going to be a close one, and it's definitely just testament to these runners for sticking it out because this one, it looked pretty good for Humbug at first, but then it's just that one Meyer big key was the real wild card here.
And while they're both going to have silvers run victorious. Pyramid has the laser bridge, which would otherwise be like an oh no location. WallKicks has already opened the pyramid, and so doesn't have to go retrieve the bomb again. I believe we don't have 3-second ties anymore. So unless they same second it, we're not going to get tie, unfortunately.
Yeah, and actually, now looking at this, I think WallKicks might be ahead. Because if they get into the bosses at the same time, I think if WallKicks finishes at the same time as Humbugh, he'd be ahead. But I think WallKicks is going to get to Trinex before Humbugh gets to Viddy.
Yeah, I think that's certainly right.
And we'll see. This is actually, so WallKicks having the gold sword here is actually important because if he can zero cycle Trinex, that extra, like, I don't know, 7 seconds or so could be the margin of victory here.
I don't know what's up with this route through that room. That was strange and wonderful. Humbugh does not get spooky.
Yeah, because you have to. Did he even go for it? You have to set it up in the dungeon.
Yeah, Wally's now. I mean, you were not kidding about laser bridges faster than running through mire, but
yeah, I guess well, the real thing was WallKicks got to the Thief's Town Big Chest faster than I thought it would take to get there. But I guess that's because I'm not. It's so rare that you see someone go back just for that because you get to skip a bunch of Thieves Town. You get to skip going to the attic. You get to skip going to the end of the hall.
Yeah, I was like, "Where's he going?" He just hit that switch and he walked out. Like, oh yeah, you can do that when you're purple dipping Thieves Town.
And WallKicks has the flute out. I'm not sure if it's faster.
Oh.
Ganon is in the Lost Woods, so I think
that was within a second on maybe. Sorry, I lied. Like 3 seconds on the crystal drop. Oh, he's fluting, which means that. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if it's faster to flute, but it definitely. So this is going to be really close. So with gold sword and silvers, it's going to take a bit of an execution error, I think, from WallKicks here to. But you never know. And this is definitely high nerves because you're like, how is my opponent not done yet? They must have done the exact same thing I did.
Well, I said a while ago that these guys can 100% full clear a race in 2:35, and they're going to do it in 2:33.
And we haven't had a chance to guess at the collection rate because this has been too high, but I would put the over-under at 201.5.
Well, I mean, we can still run that. The credits got to roll for a bit, and we have an interview to do. So, Jinxie, get on that. 8-second margin.
Because the freestanding items are it's really a question of just how many freestanding items did the winner pick up at this point. Because they both did essentially the whole game. I think WallKicks did a few more than Humbugh did.
Yes, for those that haven't actually watched dueling Ganon fights before, they will both have the same RNG, assuming that they have perfect execution. Yes, for the first fight.
Let's see if Humbugh's able to get any multiples here. Okay, well, WallKicks got the double there, so able to mitigate the potential for Humbugh to get a double.
Oh.
But man, this was a great race. Get your GGs in chat for both these runners. All WallKicks needs to do is cross to win. But man, he was looking dead in the water after that Thieves Town Big Chest. But man, Rando can do anything. You're never out of it.
Well, we're waiting for the runners to get over that. Oh, never mind. They're both here. GG's, guys.
Oh my god.
Would it make you intrigued to know that you were looking for different things?
Yeah, I figured. I basically knew that
I lost this race when I ran past Aga Tower on my way to GT. Because I basically knew that WallKicks... I suppose that WallKicks was looking for the Turtle Rock Big Key.
Yep.
Yep. Got it. Just dip Eastern, dude.
No way.
For that? Oh, never mind. They're both here.
No,
Uh,
it wasn't dipping Eastern. It was not doing pod before Thieves that got him. He did Thieves
Oh,
down.
right.
Yeah.
Right. It
Would
was
make
a
you
small
intrigued to know
key.
you were
That's
looking for
right.
different
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I
I was
figured.
feeling fine about the
I
play to
basically
do
knew
the back of
that
Easttown because I picked up a
lost
required
this
big
race
key.
when I
Yeah.
ran past Aga Tower on
And
my
then
way
I
to GT.
like my early game felt
I
bad because I
basically knew
basically
that
last located Moon
WallKicks-
Pearl.
Same.
I was say I also kind of expected humbugh too because of it being on Zora.
Yep.
You guys
My-
Got it.
both were getting your flippers out of Ice Palace at the same time, by the way.
It sucked that it wasn't the Moon Pearl on Zora ledge because we could have
Yep.
held off on that as a result.
Yep.
I felt like the second phase after the Moon Pearl actually went pretty well for me. I got Hammer, I think, relatively early, which led to Mirror. But when I found Pod when I did, I was really hoping that was going to be Meyer. But it was Pod and it had the Thieves Small Key, so I felt a little bad, but at the same time, eventually you just kind of say, okay, if it's there, I lose. Yeah, I have one thing. I have one check left in the game, and it's the GT Big Key, or the GT Big Chest.
Same. That's the only thing I have left.
Yep.
I was on my way there. Like I went from the north first Aga Tower, and then I was gonna go down to GT Big Chest because I just figured if it's there, you will last locate it as well.
Yep.
Like getting hookshot in GT, and then GT Big Key is in Hookshot Cave.
Yep.
When you're one item away from go mode, you just don't go back for that.
Heck no.
No.
So we thought Wally was dead the moment that the Thieves Town Big Chest paid off.
Yep.
Because you were going to 100% last location that, and then it turns out that Humbug managed to 100% last location his go mode too, and so the stream has been in screaming at the stream mode for like 45 minutes.
That's reasonable. I understand their frustration, but I hope that they enjoyed it at least.
Are we sorry?
I'm not.
To be honest, me either.
Like I just, oh my god, I cannot believe that this was a 5-second difference.
Yeah, after 2.5 hours.
Humbug made up 3 seconds on Ganon.
I believe it.
Pog.
So, which is not quite enough, mate. But when it's I think the first time in a long time I've seen the text boxes on Ganon be like on the stream at close to the same time in a Crosskeys race. Like that was insanely close because you guys both did every single thing, and you're about as you're about as good as each other. So
yeah,
I was just gonna say this just tells me that we are sort of like just as good as one another. Yeah, we're
absolutely
basically equal at this game. It feels like.
I don't doubt that, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
I was saying on stream half an hour ago while I was trying to kill time as you guys were making correct but correct plays from your perspective but not from our perspective, that you guys could totally 100% full clear the game in 2:35, and you did it in 2:33 or 2:32 in a bit. So thanks.
It would have taken 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go back to GT Big Chest. So you were absolutely
I
correct.
agree. I 100% agree.
Yep.
I didn't think you would take the tie thing seriously, guys. That was freaking amazing. Like, wow. So I'm going to get a little mushy here because I restream a lot of these races. And I have to say, I have really enjoyed the WallKicks Humbug matchup. I love the camaraderie between both runners. And just this coming down to a game 3 was wonderful. And it coming down to 5 seconds. Like, I don't know why I'm overly emotional, but this was incredible. Guys, these two gentlemen race their asses off. So be sure to go over there, show them some love. My God, guys, this was an intense game 3. I have freaking chills. I was freaking jumping up and down. I didn't know who I wanted to win. I just wanted to see a tie. And this was the closest thing I've ever seen on a restream. And I mean, my God, look at the credits. They're freaking synced. Like this is insane. Give these guys some love, please. I mean, my God, these are great guys. And I just thank you for this wonderful, wonderful race.
Yeah, GG's again to Humbug, dude. It was an absolute honor. Like, I like being in the semifinals and now being in the final. Like, I never expected one to get this far, and two, like of the 4 of us that were still in the semis, I mean, I would not feel bad if any of us win. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh my God, I felt like I played better. No, dude, Humbug is amazing. Goomba is incredible. Zelda is is also amazing. Like, oh my God, like I am up there with all these runners, and that's just insane.
Yeah, I've been thinking the exact same thing. Like, my goal was to get to brackets, and when like in the end I get a chance to play in the finals, and it's a 5-second difference. I'm 100% okay with that.
Yeah.
Like I WallKicks is also amazing, and he 100% deserves a place in the finals. So I hope that for your sake you get Selga. So it's going to be a bit easier to schedule. Because if there were to be a tie between the 2 of us, I don't think you would have, like...
I don't know how
you
we
would have
would
gone
have squeezed
crazy.
into game 3 tomorrow.
Game 4, yeah.
Yeah, game 4. Yeah, I was not prepared to be able to potentially play another game with you.
Yeah. I mean, I would have been fine, but I know that you would have. I know that you would have been swamped with the veterans and all. But
it's true.
Yeah, it's good that it wasn't a tie.
But GG's, I think there's another race here happening soon.
Yes,
by the way,
there is. We got a couple minutes. I'm setting up the chat. Really wants to see your collection rates, and then I'll switch it over. But yeah, so everybody has been like a freaking mess this entire race. So let them see your collection rate. WallKicks, just hold on. Oh my God, 198 WallKicks, 199.
Just short of the 200 for both.
Holy crap!
Oh yeah.
Did you pick up the bug net, Humbug?
No.
Oh, dang it. I was wondering if that was like our one separate one.
No, he skipped both boomerangs too.
Yeah, so Humbug actually has 3 less things because he left behind both boomerangs, and Wally Yoon left behind one of them.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, that gave us something to talk about for a bit while we were streaming at the screen. Thanks for that. Yeah, Jixie's actually setting up the next stream. She's the restreamer for that as well. So come back in 20 minutes.
20 minutes. I'm just going to leave the stream up. We're going to throw up a countdown. We're going to do, let's say like a 15-minute countdown. So you guys can hang out, go get some coffee, go to the bathroom. I don't know, take a breather, hit an inhaler, because that was a freaking insane situation. I know I had an asthma attack about 5 minutes ago. So yeah, stick around. Game 2 of Goomba versus Zelda. And I already told him, I was like, listen, we just had like an intense race. So I'm going to need that same intensity. I need maybe 3 seconds between you guys if we can work that out. So they're promising a great race too. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back here on CSR.
In 20 minutes, folks.